Yeah. So I get a phone call, you know, I had to cut it, I had to cut off. So going back in John 7:35, it's in the NIV, right? These just different translations to show you. It says, then said the Jews, then said, then the Jews said to one another, where does this man intend to go that we cannot find him? Will he go where our people live, scattered among the Greeks, and teach the Greeks? So if he go among the Greeks and teach, he going among the Greeks and teach the Greeks, the actual Greeks? No, he go and teach he people living among the Greeks, but they call them Greeks. They call the people Greeks. Same thing Timotheus' father was. He was an Israelite being called a Greek because, fuck, the man was just living like a Greek. He didn't. Yo, it's like as a jolly example. I have a father in Trinidad. I get called into this thing. My father is not an Israelite by nature. He don't follow the religion, the worship of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua. He's not into that. He into doing what he wants. Although me always talk to him, that my father, I respect my father. My mother the same way, I respect she, but she doing what she want. But in Timotheus' case, so what do we call my father? They will call my father a Trinidadian. They will call my mother a Trinidadian. In their mind, that is their nationality, or they will call themselves black, or they will call themselves Negroes, or they will call themselves whatever the fuck they tell themselves this. But I will call myself a Hebrew Israelite, worshiping Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. That is the same thing we're going into Timotheus' case. Yahushai, what the Jews and them taught, where they taught Yahushai went? Taught Yahushai went until he dispersed of our people living among the Greeks and to go and teach them. And teach the Greeks. You understand? Because the Jews are so bent on, listen, if the Jews were calling these other Greeks, these other nations, if they thought Yahushua was going to teach these other nations, and when the doctrine come to Israelites who don't know, them know within themselves, they look in the upper, them as the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they was rejecting them. You feel they would say Yahushua going to teach Edomites, literally, you're crazy. They was talking about the Israelites who was living among the Greeks. Yahushua, the Lord, they were saying if you're going to teach them, and they call them Greeks. I'm going to get some more. The NLT, it says, the Jewish leaders were puzzled by this statement. Where is he planning to go, they asked. Is he thinking of leaving the country and going to the Jews in other lands? Maybe he will even teach the Greeks. ESV. The Jews said one to another, where does this man intend to go? That we will not find him. Does he intend to go to the dispersion among the Greeks and teach the Greeks? If he go into the dispersion, he going to teach the dispersion, but they call the dispersion Greeks. Just like Timothy's father. Then the Jews said to CSB, to get the point, said to one another, where does he intend to go so we won't find him? He doesn't intend to go to the Jewish people dispersed among the Greeks and teach the Greeks, does he? You see? So now, why the Greeks and not the Ishmaelites is because when you go into the Greek Empire in the time of the Maccabees, and this is the reason why they took the Maccabees out of the Holy Scriptures, is because this pinpoint who the fucking devil is on point. You understand? This by this part. Because the Maccabees is a part of the Holy Scriptures from since 1611 by the hand of King James. You understand? The Maccabees was always a part of the Holy Scriptures. But devil, so-called white man, I believe in 1776 with the Bible Destruction Group, removed the books of the Apocrypha, of the second Esdras, first Esdras, Ecclesiasticus, Wisdom of Solomon, Baruch, first Maccabees, second Maccabees, additions to Esther, Judith, Bell and the Dragon, you understand? And that one was Susanna, and something else. The prayers of the three holy children. He removed all them things. But it has certain things in it, like Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it, that follow it in 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. It have the Maccabees, which I go and read here, which actually names the names of different rulers in the Greek Empire. Key ones, Alexander the Great, and next key one is Antiochus Epiphanes. It's calling out them names, and you could go back into secular history and see them men and them names in secular history. So now I will read this first Maccabees chapter 1, I'll start from 1. And it happened, after that Alexander the son of Philip the Macedonian, the son of Philip the Macedonian, alright, Alexander was his son, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. So I will jump down. So Alexander the Great was this Edomite king who conquered the world, the known world at that time, in a short space of time, in just 12 years. So I'll read from, I'll jump down to verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. So he began his empire from the age of 20, he took over, and then in 12 years' time, by the hands of Yahweh, because these Edomites are so mighty to win, to conquer people just so, the Lord was going to fulfill this prophecy here. So he strengthened Alexander to conquer everybody, to bring his prophecies to pass. Because the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. It says, and his servants bear rule everyone in his own place, everyone in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. So now, what you have to understand, that these fucking white people is the devil the Bible speaks of, because from the time I set of them started to put crowns on themselves, that's that wickedness started multiplying the earth. But the next thing you have to understand too is that, let me say from 333 BC, I believe, to about when Alexander reigned, around 333, 332 BC, at that time, what did us do when you go into the history? When BC times, it comes down from 400, 600, 500, 400, 300, 200, 100, and then from 100 to 1, and then from 1 it come from 180 come up the line. So AD meaning Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. Alright. BC, I believe, is before, as they would say, Christ. BCE, before the Christian era, the common era. Alright. That is how that is called, measure the, describe the time, right? So now in Alexander the Great time, it was around 330 some BC to 320 something BC. Alright. So now in that time, alright, you're talking about roughly 300 plus years. 300 plus years of the history we're going to read now, from the time of them to the time of the Lord coming on the scene, to the time of the apostles on the scene. Apostle Paul, the Apostle Peter, who started off the ministry of the Gentiles when he went to Cornelius, who was an Israelite man. So you're talking almost 300 years. 300 years is a very long period of time, despite what you might think. Because you know how much things could happen in 300 years. What we're going down here in 500 years. What we're going in the world in 500 years. America was built. And America, that place ain't built so quick until about, let me say, It had a lot of lands. It had a lot of lands in over 100 years ago. It had a lot of free land. And then it just get developed until different cities started built in about, let me say, in 200 years. Watch how much cities get built. Watch how much cities. San Francisco, New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C. So you see how much things going to happen in 200 years? So in 300 years, these Israelites, which I go and read about, for around the period of 300 years, them was doing fucking Greek things. So I will go on to read. It says, verse 10, and there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, the son of Antiochus the king, who had been hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. And in those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. So this describing what Timotheus' father would have been. Not saying that he was just completely wicked, one of them who say, let me go and do it. But he was so into the custom and the heathen that, hey, boy, whatever, this is what I live in. You understand? It says, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward their hearing that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Whereon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the custom of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. So you see that? You see that? That is what Israelites went and do. For our wrong, alright, for our wrong, let me say, roughly 300 years. 300 years are you operating like a Greek. So I's 20 years now, right? I have not 20, I's 25 years right now. I have a son, right? My son, the ways what I teach he would teach his son, Lord forbid we still here, because I would teach him what the Israelites is. We's Israelites. He would teach his son, and then his son would teach his son. And then within that 100 years, let me say 100 years, my son would be 75. All he know what I teach he, this is your way of life. His son would be 50. Let me say he make his child at 25 years. Let me say his child is 25 years. His son would be 50, right? And that's a big old man. And he don't know this is how I had to be. And he will have children. And all he will teach his children. He will teach his children what I did teach he, father. You see? And then he will teach, his children will teach their children. And that is just within the space of 100 years. So we're talking about 300 years. So you could imagine the depths of Israelites who thinking that there is Greeks. How seriously embedded in Greek culture there was. And not in the Israelite culture, because they forsook that. Some of them back then, the wicked men of Israel, leave that. You see, that is old school traditions. We want to be new school. We want to be looking like Greeks. So some of them actually went and put back the foreskin on the penis and make themselves uncircumcised, because when they say they build a place of exercise, it says that certain of the people were so forward therein, verse 13, 1 Maccabees 1 and 13, then certain of the peoples were so forward therein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, and that was a gym. And the word gym come from the Greek word gymnos, which means naked. So this is why they do what they do here now, according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised. So when they're exercising naked, right? When they see everybody else naked, but the Greeks' custom was to be uncircumcised. Israelites' custom was to be circumcised. So what they went and do, they went and, I don't know how to do it, but sew back foreskin around the penis and look uncircumcised. So that when they're exercising naked, they will say, right, you're in fashion now, man, you know? They was doing that. They were actually doing that. That's why now when you read in Acts 16, you go see Paul had to take Timothy and went and get him circumcised because his father, which the father was the head of the house, although his mother was a Jewish and believed, the father was a fucking Greek. But Timothy reached of age, he became a man, he said, you know what, he's an Israelite, he's my heritage, whatever the case, I had to be circumcised and come back to my heritage. Same thing we doing now. But his father remained as what he was. See? Although he was an Israelite by seed. It says, I will jump to verse 39. I would say, read from verse 39. I read from verse 38. I read from verse 37. I read from verse 36. It says, for it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary and an evil adversary to Israel. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary and defiled it, insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers, and became strange to those that were born in her, and her own children left her. The city, her own children is Israelites. We left. See? Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness. Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach, her honor into contempt. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased, and her excellency was turned into mourning. Moreover, Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed to the commandment of the king. So now, you have to remember the gods of the nations were idols, right? So you say all the heathen consented, so them didn't give a fuck. Them really didn't care. Them just do what the king said to do, not care. But now we're not supposed to do that. In Psalms 96 verse 4, it says, for Yahweh is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all powers. For all the powers of the nations are idols, but Yahweh made the heavens. You see? So them really didn't care. These are the heathens. The king, right, that all nations, because that is Antiochus Epiphanes, right? He exalted to the heavens. He said, fuck, I is God on the earth. So here what? Everybody had to bow down to me. So you know what? I write in this letter. All nations had to forsake the laws. Alright? And whatever covenant was given unto them, and do what the fuck I say to do. And then we going and do now when he bring in this RFID microchip. See? I read over verse 41. He say what? All should be one people. All should be one people under me. I is God. That is what he saying. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed to according to the commandment of the king. All the heathen, the Elamites, the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Ishmaelites, the Hamites, all them heathen and them. Them agree to fuck that. Yeah. That's why, yo, when you go in America, these heathen completely love America. Some of them completely forget the laws of the land. Forget the customs that they have, because either way you take it, all the gods of nations are idols. So to them, idolatry is going and worship our next god and fucking nothing. We just changing this god from that god and next. But we have the Israelites now. We have one power. Our power is Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. So it says, um, yea, many also of the Israelites, you notice it didn't say all, because there were some Israelites who say, fuck that. I keep in my laws, the meat is mine. My forefathers fight for this, and I keep in this. Many are we people say, boy, F them, I go down and do what the heathen say, what the king said. It says here, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, meaning they say, yeah, no problem, we'll do it. And sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. Can. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings. So do no more burnt offerings. That's done away with now. Anybody get catch doing burnt offerings, I will be dealt with. You see? And forbid burnt offerings, alright? And sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days. And that's what the devil doing right now. You understand? He plays so hard now that sometimes you had to profane the Sabbath because he making you have to work on that day. Fucking devil. But Tawada Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, and Tawada Yahushai for pulling through for we. But do we use grace do we sin that grace? Do we sin because of grace? No, we're not supposed to sin because we have grace. We have to keep the laws still. It says, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end that they might forget the law. So he wanted me to completely forget the laws of the Most High and change all the ordinances to what he wanted to be, because he tell himself he is the Most High in flesh. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. In the selfsame manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, everyone that forsook the law, and so they committed evils in the land. You understand? Plenty of people forsook the law, and that was over a big period of time. I believe Antiochus Epiphanes came into power around 175 BC. You know, if I'm mistaken, 175 BC. So from 175 BC, like 175 years, Yahushua came on the scene. Like we say, almost 200 years. And then in the time of the Hellenistic period, when Israelites was just completely just saying F this, and the going in the land of Egypt under Alexander the Great, you know, Alexandria, Egypt, that a lot of Israelites live in there. That was during the time of the Hellenistic period. That was around 300 and some years when you do the history. From that time to the time of the Lord was over 300 and some years. From Antiochus' time was 200 and some years. From Antiochus to the time of the Lord, almost And from the time of the Alexander, with the Hellenistic period, was around 300 and some years from that time to the time of the Lord. So for that time, around 300 and some years in all, you had Israelites living like Eden. So now these Jakes now, like the Apostle Paul now, get the revelation from Yahushua to go and preach the gospel unto his people, which was Israelites. This is Acts chapter 9, verse 14. It says, and here he had authority, alright, and here he had authority from the chief priest to bind all that call on thy name. But the Lord said unto him, go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto the Most High. This is talking about the Apostle Paul, right? To bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and children and the children of Israel. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake. So the Apostle Paul had he was chosen to bear the Lord's name before the Gentiles and kings and children of Israel, which the Apostle Paul himself said to prove that the Gentiles were Israelites. This is Acts 28 verse 17. And it came to pass that after 3 days Paul called the chief of the Jews together, and when they were come together, he said unto them, men and brethren, though I have committed nothing against the people or customs of our fathers, yet was I delivered prisoner from Jerusalem into the hands of the Romans, who when they had examined me would have let me go, because there was no cause of death in me. But when the Jews spake against it, I was constrained to appeal unto Caesar, not that I had aught to accuse my nation of. For this cause therefore have I called for you, to see you and to speak with you, because that for the hope of Israel I am bound with this chain. So you see, it was for the hope of Israel he was bound with the chain. So showing you that he was for the Israelites. That is what he was doing. Everything he was doing was for the Israelites.